Hey, what's going on, man? I know y'all see the title, The Last 24 Hours of the Late, Great Marvin Gaye, Part 1. Let's get it, y'all. Yeah, I remember as a youngster, you standing on the block out there playing hopscotch, making a lollipop. I wanted to come and talk, but I was shy back then. Baddest girl in the school, thought I had no friends. Closest to friends, used to pick and laugh at me, used to call me silly names, cause I was soulful and tacky. Exactly how I thought it would be. Years later, I'm in the Bahamas sipping Lipton. Yes, I know y'all heard the intro. So without further ado, we're gonna get right into it. Let's roll that clip.
Star, a Motown legend.
He was the prince of Motown, and he was truly that kind of a person.
He had that kind of charisma where the ladies just loved him.
But the smooth exterior and golden voice hid another very different Marvin Gaye. Paranoid, suicidal, addicted to cocaine.
When he was good, he was really, really good, and when he was bad, you just wanted to get the hell out of the way.
So before we continue, man, make sure y'all hit that bell notification. Make sure y'all get them likes up. Make sure y'all get them follows up. I'm gonna be doing these reaction channels, these reaction videos more often. So if y'all rocking with me, rock with me, man. What's up to everybody out there, man? What's going down? Fuck with me. Let's rock.
In 24 hours, a lifelong family feud would finally come to an end. Marvin will be dead, shot by his father.
Put a like in the comment. I like Marvin Gaye, man.
March 31st, 1984. Marvin Gaye is one of the most successful recording artists in the world. After a grueling year-long tour, he's retreated to his parents' house in LA. In less than 24 hours, he'll be dead. For the past 6 months, Marvin has been struggling with a growing depression.
There came a time when he just put on a bathrobe and was just there in the house. He just never left.
It was crazy, dog. I did everything about it. Man, hey, what's up? How you doing? Hey, come on, come on, dog. Hey, what's...
Marvin Gaye is addicted.
I may be young, but I never knew Marvin Gaye was addicted to cocaine. I mean, it doesn't surprise me, but the brother was just so talented, man. Like I say, he was before my time, but when you legendary, your music lives on decades and decades and decades. That's what a lot about these new artists is they don't understand. A lot of these new artists they'll pop off, maybe have one or two songs, but in 3 years, don't nobody care about them songs. The stuff that matters, what really matters, if you can drop a song and decades later they still playing your song at weddings and birthdays. And Marvin Gaye was one of those artists, man. Tune in the last 24 hours of Marvin Gaye. We finna check it out.
To cocaine. Since moving in with his parents, his use has increased steadily. It's caused tension with his father, having junkies and dealers constantly coming to the house.
What's been up?
When Marvin came back to LA, he just wanted to be left alone, but everybody came out of the woodwork. So there was constant traffic at the house, day and night.
Is that a fact? You know, yeah, we can party here. Yeah?
Any normal household doesn't have 20 or 30 people coming and going all day long, every day. And it gets old very quick, and father...
See, Marvin used to have too much company over there. He got people coming in and out, in and out. Him and his old man already don't get along. So his old man wasn't feeling that Marvin having all that traffic in and out of his house. You know how that go.
I was just tired of it.
It's a little too much activity for him. He liked to remain peaceful in his room without any activity going on around him.
Marvin and his father have been locked in a power struggle since he was a child. But
I
now
think
Marvin is the
somebody
breadwinner.
followed me.
He bought the family home in LA, a fact his father resents.
There was a struggle between who was going to be the head of that family. And theories, life and religion and everything else, and all the blow and everything that's going on there in his house, as father would think, I guess, which it was, I guess.
The one person who's always held the family together is Marvin's mother. She has her own bedroom between her husband and her son.
I think the deal that Marvin had was he started putting his mother in the middle of it because, you know, I can't fight you back, Daddy, but I can get Mama for you, and she loved him to death. And he basically used his mama, you know, against his daddy.
Marvin's mom, in many ways, was a peacemaker and a negotiator and a referee and a nurturer. I think that she was his anchor. I think that she was the one place that he felt love.
My father always knew there was a closeness between Marvin and his wife. He always knew that.
Marvin's father is jealous of their relationship and his son's success.
They were like in two different worlds. They didn't acknowledge each other. I've never seen such a strained relationship between two people.
This is what I don't understand, y'all. I ain't gonna keep pausing it, but I just want to run something by y'all. And it happens more often. Sometimes mothers really be jealous of their daughters. And sometimes fathers really be jealous of their sons. And that can go a whole different type of way. You know, jealousy breeds hate, and hate breeds envy. When a person envy you, they'll do anything. Stay woke.
You could kind of feel the vitriol.
You know, there seemed to be some love there, but they were always in conflict. They were always seemingly in conflict.
In 22 hours, the bitter hatred between father and son will explode in violence. "45 years before, in Washington, D.C., Marvin Pentz Gay was born, the second of 4 children, the son of a preacher.
My father was a very strict man. He believed in discipline, very much so. And being a minister in a church, and you know what people say about preachers' children, sometimes they are the worst. I've heard that all my life. So he was determined we were not going to be the worst.
He just wanted the perfect family. And everything had to run the way that Father wanted it because he had this dream of, you know, the perfect family.
Marvin's father enforced his will through violence.
We were punished, and Marvin received more punishment than the rest of us because he was a maverick. I always called him that, even as a child.
So his daddy was on some Joe Jackson type stuff. That's why him and Marvin really didn't get along. His daddy was putting them hands on him. He was putting his hands on the whole family, but he especially put his hands on Marvin. So they was never gonna get along anyway, because Marvin got some childhood stuff going on. Pretty much, nigga, I ain't never like you anyway, type stuff. You know what I mean?
Child did things differently.
Marvin would test Father. Frankie would tell me Marvin would test Father a lot.
The power struggle that they had actually was, in many ways, a way that Marvin sought approval and acceptance from his dad.
Instead of using compassion, softness, tenderness, then he began to dictate and dominate. And he became a force, a power in his family, which turned his children.
From age 7, Marvin suffered routine whippings. He also had to endure the shame of having a father who wore women's clothing.
Whoa, whoa. Did y'all just hear that? His father was a cross-dresser. So not only is he an angry man, he's an angry man that cross-dresses. No wonder this nigga upset. I'd be upset too. He's a cross-dresser, y'all. No wonder he was walking around mad trying to put his hands on everybody. He got a complex. Let's continue.
His father was not only a cross-dresser, but he was a very flamboyant and out there cross-dresser.
He'd have his little, ladies' slippers on, pumps, and, slide around sandal things and waltz around. He was proud of it, so he didn't care.
Neighbors knew about Marvin's father. Kids called him names, sissy and homosexual.
The image of his dad as a preacher, this powerful, cross-dressing, church front preacher who would come home and wear his wife's clothes. The shame.
Man, do y'all hear this, man? The man was already angry. He was a preacher. He was a cross-dresser. No wonder Marvin was messed up, man. And this is your pops, who you got to see every day. Man, imagine growing up in that household. Let's get it.
That imposed upon Marvin.
Marvin's childhood was a daily torment, full of pain and confusion. His salvation was music. At age 5, Marvin began singing gospel. His voice won him instant praise.
People were amazed at his voice. He loved all the attention he was getting. All the nice things they were saying to my mother and father. Where does this boy get such a beautiful voice?
Marvin's voice was his ticket out of his father's house. By his late teens, Marvin was singing for money. His father was furious. To him,
his son going into the secular world. And that was one of the things that hurt him so bad. He was permitted to do it or to venture into that field by his mother.
She supported him. She encouraged him. And I think that is one of the primary reasons that she was so important in his life. She symbolized for him what it would be like, unconditional love.
resented by his father, indulged by his mother, this dynamic would define Marvin Gaye's life. But it was his father's ominous threat that would end it.
My father has always taught us, even from children, that we don't talk back, number one, and we certainly don't act as though we want to do any harm, number two. And he's always said if we did anything to raise our voices at him in that manner or to strike, that he brought us in this world, he can take us out. He should tell us that we were little kids.
The children knew to take his threat seriously. And on the last day of Marvin Gaye's life, his father would prove himself a man of his word. Los Angeles, California. It's late afternoon. Soul superstar Marvin Gaye has just 18 hours to live. He's staying with his parents, a father who beat him as a child, and a mother who's always been his strongest support.
Marvin and his mother had a wonderful relationship. They were really close and, shared a lot of things together, and they loved to laugh together. You could walk, down the hall in the house and you would hear laughter coming from the bedroom. And they had a good time together.
But there was always tension in the house.
It doesn't take much for things to erupt, you know that. So that particular day, of course, was a day that my father had been drinking. And there was an argument with my mother over some business papers.
Unpaid taxes and 2 divorces have forced Marvin to sell off his properties. Gay Sr. is worried his home might be in jeopardy.
There was just a lot of everything folding. The studio's gone, you know, the how Hidden Hills is going, this is going, that's going, it's all gone. What else is gonna go? And I think it might have been in the back of Father's mind. Plus, him just trying to make sure that his son knew that he was a failure, no matter how famous he was.
Look at that! Mother!
Knowing my father, he probably raised his voice at my mother. I don't think Marvin would have intervened if he didn't think he had to protect my mother from something.
Hey, who do you think?
What are you talking about? What are you looking at?
Knowing Marvin, he probably told him not to talk to his mother that way.
Hey, you talking?
And knowing my father, he probably told him to stay out of it. And knowing Marvin again, he probably stayed in it.
Listen, look, don't you ever
Get out. Get out.
Marvin, please don't speak to the father.
Marvin's reliance on cocaine is making him edgy, volatile, and paranoid. He's convinced someone...
But yeah, I get you supposed to respect your parents, but daddy be trying to stir up in the house that I'm paying for. You know, I ain't saying disrespect your parents, but goddamn. Like, I ain't just finna listen, like, I ain't no kid no more. You just can't just handle me, not especially in the house that I pay for, ain't gonna happen.
...is trying to kill him.
He had a .38 pistol in his pocket at all times, loaded. I told him about how worried I was. In fact, he was doing these drugs and he never came out of the house. And he was walking around with this loaded pistol. And I said, I'm really worried about him. He said, oh, Dave, you don't have to be worried.
But there's good reason to worry. The house is stockpiled with weapons. When Marvin moved back home 6 months ago, he gave a gun to his father.
You know, one of the biggest ironies is that Marvin thought he was being chased and followed and pursued, and someone was looking to kill him. So he gave his father a gun so his father might shoot the person looking to kill Marvin.
It was a fateful decision. Marvin had put the gun in the hand of his killer.
He gave it to the pyramid. Nobody else.
23 years before, Motown, the music industry machine that would soon churn out a dizzying number of hits, was just finding its feet. In 1960, Motown was the only record label that gave black artists a shot at becoming superstars. Marvin Gaye was chasing that dream.
He was a drummer, and he hung around the studio, and he was looking to get noticed, and the competition was keen. His initial struggle at Motown was to get people to pay attention to him.
Marvin's boyish good looks caught the public's eye. His velvet voice made them listen. In just over a year, he had a hit song, Stubborn Kind of Fellow. Gaye was making a name for himself, but with the spotlight came hurtful rumors.
They came to my dressing room and said, you have a call backstage. And I went to the phone, and when I got there, they said, did you know that Marvin was gay? And I just hung up the phone because I got upset about it. But people teased him about the GAY.
Marvin wasn't gay, but questions about his sexuality brought back the shame he felt as a child, as the son of a cross-dresser. Before going on tour, Gaye added an E to the end of his name. But on stage, there was no confusion. To his female fans, Marvin Gaye was a sex symbol.
I remember on one of the Motown reviews, the fans went crazy. And I'm walking down this big hallway, and I hear somebody say, Kim Weston. Oh, man, am I glad to see you. And I look around and hear Marvin hiding in the doorway. And I said, what are you doing? He said, they're everywhere. All the girls were after him, so he's gonna walk with me to find out where I was going. As soon as we walked out the door, there was a bunch of them. He said, oh, there he is. And he just didn't know what to do. He tried to run, but they got him. So I walked onto the bus. I said, I think you all better go rescue Marvin, because they got him back there.
Marvin had his pick of admirers. In 1963, he chose Anna Gordy, sister of Motown head Berry Gordy. She was 17 years older than him.
There was a mother image there, and I think he saw things in her that he may have desired his mother to have, because his mother was very passive, and Anna was, yeah, she was out there.
Anna was more than a mother figure. She was a powerful woman who could help his career.
Like everything else in Marvin's life, I think Marvin's relationship to Anna was really complicated.
Hey, if y'all done got this for make sure y'all leave a like. If y'all feeling my content, y'all can leave a comment. I appreciate everything. I appreciate all the love, all the subscribers, everybody that's been rocking with me. Hey, it's been a long journey, but I just want to take this time out there and say, y'all, I appreciate it for real, man. Let's keep it rocking.
Complicated. I think they loved each other deeply, but she was a Gordy, you know, and he saw in her a way to climb the ladder of success and give him a head start on everybody else.
Soon, Marvin got top billing and became one of Motown's biggest names. He had a unique style. It was so unusual that his recording of I Heard It Through the Grapevine was initially shelved.
It was so different, we just could not picture it in the top 10. We knew it was good, it was super good, but it was just way too different. And so finally they decided to recut the song on Gladys Knight and the Pips.
I Heard It Through the Grapevine was a hit for Gladys Knight and the Pips. The song's success convinced Motown to release Marvin's version in 1968. It immediately outsold Gladys Knight's and became Motown's biggest single ever, selling nearly 4 million copies.
What it did for Marvin was it gave him clout, and it set him up for his next move, which was, I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm not going to be produced by anybody else. I'm going to write this suite of songs that pays no attention to what they're playing on the radio these days. I'm going to become an artist with a capital A, and that means my first allegiance is to my art and not to commerce and not to making Mr. Gordy happy or anybody else happy, that I have to make my own sort of personal muse happy, and I have to answer to God, not to the Motown Corporation. So Heard It Through the Grapevine was the key that unlocked the door to Marvin's independence.
The success of Grapevine freed Marvin of the controlling influence of Berry Gordy and allowed him to record the songs that would make him a superstar.
Thank y'all, man. That's part one. I'm going to upload part two here in a little bit. Thank y'all, like I say, for rocking with me. I appreciate all the love. Make sure y'all get them likes up. Make sure y'all hit them bell notifications so y'all can be notified whenever I drop some more of these reaction videos. One love, like I always say, what's up to everybody on the East Coast? What's up to everybody on the West Coast, down South, Midwest, and everywhere in between, if you know what I mean. Let's keep it rocking. I holla at y'all. Part two is coming on the way.